I believe a lot of you are confused right about now because the Machina archetype technically is the 5D's manga archetype, but that's where you're partially wrong. It is a manga archetype and it has more prominence there, but it also did appear in the anime in a grand total of one episode and a grand total of one card that was used by Saiga and Yuji from, of course, 5Ds. Yeah, it was also during a backstory and not during an official duel. And the only known card from that archetype in the anime is Machina Sniper. We'll get to those, but yeah, let's take a look at their monsters level by level. Starting with the level 2 Machina Pacemaker. It's a Union monster with 500 attack and 400 defense, and when this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add one Union monster from your deck to your hand, and the rest of the effect is the standard Union equip and unequip effect. Okay, this card is kind of sort of decent because, again, it can actually search any Union monster, meaning it can be teched into some ABC and XYZ Dragon fusions, so yeah, it's got that part of utility covered. However, uh, it's kind of sort of decent because their best low-level monster also happens to be a Union monster, that being Machina Gear Frame. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Machina monster from your deck to your hand except Machina Gear Frame, and of course the rest of the effect is the standard Union equip and unequip effect. Okay, so basically you run the 3 of these at all times. No brainer. It's an 1800 attack level 4 that fetches yourself any part of the monster lineup of the archetype, and this archetype is made of only monster lineups. So yeah, this is a definite 3 of staple. It fetches their boss monsters as well as their combo extenders and playmakers, even though it's a bit stretchy to call them that. But anyway, let's take a look at them, shall we? First off, we have the aforementioned Machina Sniper, which prevents any other Machina monsters from being attacked except Machina Sniper. Sadly, this isn't a Solar Flare Dragon for the archetype, since it doesn't say except itself instead it says Machina Sniper, which means if you have another Machina Sniper out on the field, your opponent can choose which one to attack. So yeah. However, yeah, there is a certain utility regarding this card, but first let's take a look at some other monsters. First up being Machina Soldier. He allows you to special summon another Machina monster from your hand except himself if he is the only card on the field when he's normal summoned, which first turn can be useful, but I would still prefer, if this thing said, if it's normal or special summoned and in any part of the duel, so you don't have to worry about controlling other monsters. So yeah, it could have been a lot better regarding that fact. And then we have Machina Defender, which has a flip effect to add a Commander Covington from your deck to your hand. Okay, so having a flip effect to add a very specific main deck monster to your hand means it's something worth running. So what does this Commander Covington do then? Well, he's a level 4 machine with 1000 attack and 600 defense, and you can send one face-up Machina Soldier, Sniper, and Defender to the graveyard to special summon one Machina Force from your hand or deck. Okay, so what does this Machina Force do? It's a level 10 with 4600 attack and 4100 defense, has better stats than Rainbow Neos and Quasar, and cannot be normal summoned or set, and must be special summoned by Commander Covington, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. You must pay 1000 life points to declare an attack with this card. You can send this face-up card to the graveyard to target one Machina Soldier, Sniper, and Machina Defender from in your graveyard and special summon those targets. So essentially, what you get is a Valkyrian the Magnet Warrior with really beefy stats that requires that has a Dark Elf limitation, as it needs to be it needs you to pay 1000 life points in order to attack. And that's pretty much it. You can use this thing's diffusion effect as you may call it, to, you know, get yourself easy link materials. But it doesn't have the Magnet Warrior special summoning conditions, as you can send the above monsters from your hand to the graveyard as well. Meaning it's not worth going into, since basically you're reverting it how it was before you summon this, so you're better off using those 4 monsters Commander Covington included for a link monster or something. Overall, it's a very, very bad card that's hard to summon and basically not worth running unless you, I don't know, use it in some formats where its massive attack points are relevant for some big fusion monster or something like that. Alright, now getting to something very decent. First up, we have the Machina Fortress, which would have been the next monster I looked at, depending on it, looking from its level. But Machina Force needed to be elaborated first because Commander Covington mentioned it in his text. And this was actually a machine staple for a long time, and here's why. You can discard machined monsters whose total levels equal 8 or more, then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Before resolving an opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from their hand. So yeah, this thing actually debuted in Machina Mayhem structure deck, I believe, and many people call that deck the deck that changed Yu-Gi-Oh forever, because this monster is very good. It's a special summonable boss monster that offers graveyard setup and is very generic, meaning it can be splashable in basically any machine-based deck, and trust me, there are a lot of those nowadays, and yeah, it's basically a very nice card. And each time it gets destroyed by battle, you get to pop a card on the field. And the third effect is a bit weird because I mean, it can get targeted every now and then, but what you're doing is just setting up the opponent's graveyard, and not to mention if you're playing against Dark Worlds, you're basically giving them free monsters. And also, if you play against the Infernities, you won't have anything to dump into their graveyard because their hands will be discarded long after that. Still though, this is an absolute staple at Machina decks because it's a level 8 and it offers rank 8 plays, and yeah. Oh wait, sorry, it's a level 7. Sorry. Rank 7 is even better then, so yeah, rank 7 and rank 4 are two of the best ranks in the entire game, so yeah, you can use it to summon Draco Sack, number 11 Big Eye, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, basically any really good rank 7 monster you ever so desire. Alright, getting now to the actual level 8s. First up here we have Machina Cannon. It's a level 8 with 2200 attack and 2200 defense, sorry, and 0 attack. A bit of weird stats there. And cannot be normal summoned or sent, and must first be special summoned from your hand by sending one or more machine type monsters from your hand to the graveyard. This card gains 800 attack for each card sent to the graveyard for this special summon. Oh yeah, this is just a beat stick. Well, it is a special summonable beat stick, but that's all it does. You can use it for a rank 8 or a link play, but that's just about as high as it goes. Now I actually wish that you can pair this thing up with Skill Drain and then use Machine Duplication to bring out two more of them, but sadly its summoning condition prevents you from doing so, so yeah, it's not very good. But I would still prefer running Fortress over this thing. And their last monster is Machina Megaform. Another level 8 with 2600 attack and 1500 defense. And you contribute this card to special summon one Machina monster from your hand or deck, except Machina Megaform. If a face-up Machina Fortress you control is sent to the graveyard, while this card is in your graveyard except during the damage step, you can banish that Machina Fortress from the graveyard, special summon this card. You can only use the one effect of Machina Megaform once per turn. So yeah, I guess you can use this thing to, you know, basically as a comeback tool, but trust me, you don't want to banish a Machina Fortress because you can't summon it from the graveyard by dumping some more cards to the graveyard. Yeah, it's a mediocre comeback enabler, if anything, but yeah. Machina Fortress is still, in my opinion, a better boss monster over any of these because it's literally that good. Yeah. You run one if you feel like it, and that's all I gotta say. And their last card is the continuous spell Machina Armored Unit. Once per turn, when a machine monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one machine monster from your deck that has the same attribute and less attack than that destroyed monster in the graveyard. When this card was released in very slower formats, this was an absolute staple in any machine-based decks at the time because special summoning from the deck is an insanely powerful effect. I mean, this effect easily holds up very nicely even today because you can actually summon some very nice machine combos and the monsters that with using this thing's effect, but its usage nowadays is highly dampened because monsters getting destroyed by battle are not that frequent nowadays. So yeah, also this thing can easily be destroyed by any sort of spell and trap removal or monster or any removal in general. So yeah. Alright, time for the grades. Their consistency is absolutely not worth talking about because it requires way too much non-archetypal setup for the most basic of plays. Gear frame is a thing, but still, relying on one monster to search out absolutely everything is not worth talking about, so yeah, 1 out of 3. Power. It usually depends on Fortress, it's usually who's ran at 2 or 3 at most. You can get out-resourced if you keep summoning her all over and over again. So yeah, it's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst either. So yeah, 2 out of 3 for power. Their comeback ability usually depends on top decking something like Overload Fusion or anything that allows you to resummon a bunch of monsters or resummoning Fortress. So yeah. A bit too specific, but it's still good enough for me to bump it to a 2 out of 3. Protection is non-existent, like, period. None of their monsters have protection except Machina Sniper, and you know how well I love that card, so yeah, 1 out of 3 there. Versatility. Machina Fortress is actually ridiculous in other decks, in basically any machine deck, so yeah, I'm gonna also be very generous and give him a 3 out of 3 in the versatility, because simply how great the Machina Mayhem structure deck was, and because it introduced us to Machina Fortress. Also, Machina Armored Unit is also very splashable, so yeah. Those were Machinas, yeah. I know it wasn't a proper anime archetype, but yeah, I wanted to cover them because of Machina Mayhem and Machina Fortress simply being a thing, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed, and next time we're going to be doing the final archetype in the 5Ds marathon, and then after that we'll be moving on to the dual monsters era once more. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe, and as usual I'll upload the next vid whenever I can. See you all and have a good day. Peace.